get the...
All right, let's say... Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started.
Hey, Lit Set, it's Jasmine.
Hey, Lit Set, it's Nikia. And this is Black Girl Lit,
the podcast. We're a podcast now, guys.
Where Black girls are lit,
we get lit,
and we read lit.
This is Black Girl Lit, the podcast. Well, hey y'all.
Hey.
Episode 6.
Season 3, oh my God.
Oh my going.
That's crazy. We're here.
She's here. And if you hear all this crunching, it's because Nike is eating Doritos. This is not ASMR.
All right, y'all, we're back. And this is my pick. I picked what I thought was a psychological thriller, but we'll get into that later. The title of this book is My Sister, the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I did not look up how to say her name, so I'm pronouncing it as close as I can. But here we are. But before we get into that, let's do a little quick check-in. How are things going?
You know what? Things are going okay, Still not fully okay, like we talked about last week. And I actually just got off a diversity inclusion call that was held by the leadership team for the place that I work. It was like 150 people on a Zoom call. And it was like the VPs and some people, talking about different things. The VP I gathered, he's a white man married to an African woman. So he was talking about his experience and basically just trying to open up some dialogue about diversity and being inclusive, as well as what's going on in the world. He's talked about how he doesn't like the police, but his not liking from the police is from a place of where I guess his family is from Germany or Poland, and his mom was Holocaust type situations and things in the 40s. So that's why he doesn't trust the police. But still, they were talking about it. So, I mean, it was good for the company to hold this conversation. Mm-hmm. And one lady shared, she works at one of the facilities, I think, in South Carolina. She talks about how she's Black, but she's talking about how she is having a mental health specialist come into the warehouse to talk to the employees because it's a predominantly Black warehouse. So she's having someone come in and actually talk to the employees so they can have some time to actually open up and, share about the mental health thing. So I was like, that's good on you, sis.
Come on, be responsible.
Right. Not just, what's going on with the protests, but she also mentioned just from COVID and how it's affecting the Black community at a disproportionate rates. So disproportionate rates. So, that's another thing that we're having to deal with. So she just wanted to have someone to come in to tell them, hey, it's okay if you're not okay. Let's talk about it so we get you to a place of being okay. So I say all that to say that I feel a little bit better. It's good to know that I work for a company that cares enough about its employees to have these kind of forums and things. Right. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I've just been chilling. I've been playing The Sims all weekend.
But I just want to let y'all know, did y'all hear how Jazz said she was on the call with like VPs and higher ups? She's a big dog in these streets, just to let y'all know.
No, first of all, let me clarify. I am not. This was an open forum. Anybody could have joined. I am not a big wig. I am a peon in these streets.
Jazz is a mover and shaker, big baller, shot caller.
The only thing moving and shaking on me is this body fat, okay? But how you doing, sis? How them Doritos treating you?
Oh, Doritos are good. I really want some Cheetos, but beggars can't be choosers.
True.
I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. As y'all know, I've experienced a lot of death in this season. So, still going through the grieving process and stuff like that. But I'm dealing with it. I don't have a mental health professional, but I do have a friend. I have an internet best friend. We've never met in person, but I have an internet best friend. She's checked on me. She was like, have you found a therapist? And But I just don't feel comfortable getting to know a therapist online. I'd rather get to know them in person and then maybe switch to online. But, I'm talking about my feelings. I have a weighted blanket to help me, relax, release when I need to sleep. When I feel like crying, I cry. I ugly cried in front of David and Jasmine a week or so ago while watching my wedding video.
It's okay. You gotta let that stuff out.
All I remember is like right before I started crying, I looked at y'all and I was like, "I'm sorry, guys," and then it just all came out.
Girl, it was okay. And we kept trying to tell you it was okay.
And the next thing I knew, the video was gone, and then I was thrown up in the toilet. But we're not gonna
Yeah.
get into that. I'm still I'm doing good. I'm trying to consume a proper amount of information, and then still finding that balance of being okay with not consuming information and taking a break from everything that's going on, because it's a lot. The first enslaved people were brought here in 1619. So as a Black people, we've been dealing with this for 401 years now. So we have a right to take a break. And Jazz and I are content creators, so we're still putting out, our regular content. I'm putting out my YouTube content, and it's just, it's kind of hard finding that balance, but we still need a sense of normalcy, and we can still fight and still have a sense of normalcy. That's what I want to say. Like, we can still fight for our rights and speak up for ourselves and be a part of the movement, and still, have a sense of normalcy, because, life still continues on, and we still have to be our whole selves.
Yes, and I think that's important to mention. I don't want to spend too much time on this,
I
but I
know.
do think that it's really, really important to like remember that Black people are multifaceted. Like, you can post something about the protest and then post a selfie. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can, your mind can work and think on a lot of different things at one time, and to feel like you should only be focused on the movement at this moment is not healthy to
Right.
yourself, because it's just going to put you in a place where you're going to be burnt out. So it's okay for you to take some time, find ways to laugh during this time, find ways to release some of that energy as best as you can.
And thank you for coming to our TED Talk. But now we're going to get into the thick of why you came here. And I'm going to start with our first segment, which is about the author, Oyinkan Braithwaite. Oyinkan Braithwaite was born in Lagos, Nigeria in 1988. Shout out to the 80s babies. Then she spent most of her childhood in the UK when her family moved to Southgate in North London. She had her primary school education in London, then returned to Lagos when her brother was born in 2001. She studied law and creative writing at Surrey University and Kingston University before moving back to Lagos. Is it Lagos or Lagos? Lagos in 2012. And this was her first novel. So that's all I found about her. I couldn't find anything else. I've been trying to find the tea on people so we can get to know them. But yeah, this is my age, 32. And I was just telling Jazz before we got on the call, it's so weird having an author my age, because, I've been reading all my life and I'm so used to authors being older than me. And I'm like, oh, she's my age. Like, I could be writing the book right now. It's just so weird.
He wants authors to be old farts.
They're all supposed to be older than me.
I want all my authors to be old farts and old people. Okay, that's not how it is. Anybody can be an author. Okay.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Down ain't nothing but a thing.
Okay.
All right. Now to the segment where Jasmine flourishes and thrives. Y'all should see my hand motions. She's going to synopsisize My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite.
Yes, come along with me while I synopsisize my serial killer. My Sister the Serial Killer. Story is told by Korede. Is that how you pronounce it? Korede? We're gonna go Korede. Who is a nurse in Nigeria, in Lagos, whose sister is actually a serial killer. Her sister, Iola, that's Iola. We're going to call her Iola. I'm sorry, I'm butchering these names, and I feel terrible, but I should, I'm going to work on that. Anywho, the story is by Korede and her sister, Iola, who just happens to have this problem where she kills her boyfriends, and her sister comes in to kind of help her during these situations, and as her sister's trying to help her to clean up her recent mistake, her sister takes an interest in the man that Korede has her eye on. So Korede has to make this decision of, do I go after the man that I have fallen in love with, but he has no clue that I exist, kind of? Or do I protect my sister and continue on, harboring her secrets? Who do I save in this situation, this man or my sister? And it's basically this just story of her trying to figure out what best to do, as well as how to handle her sister in her serial killing ways. So that is My Sister the Serial Killer.
All right, thank you, Jazz, for that wonderful synopsis. You can't say too much. This was a short book, so
It was.
give
It
him
was a very short book. That is very true.
give you our initial reactions, our guttural thoughts and feelings about the novel. I guess I'll go first since this is my pick. I didn't write down anything because I was just reading it. But looking back in retrospect, hindsight is always 2020.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, coming off the heels of Crazy Rich Asians and how it gave us like meanings of words and in a different language. Like, they were speaking Yoruba in this novel, and I don't think there was a translation. I think sometimes there was, but not all the time.
No,
and like not. I said, the names, like, this novel forced me to, like, I was Google searching a lot of stuff. Like, what does this mean? There were a lot of cultural things that I didn't understand. And I was trying to figure out, was Cordy and her family rich or not? But everybody in Africa, low-key, everybody in Africa is rich because everybody be having like maids and servants and all
or
this
house
stuff.
girls, as they call her. They call her the house girl.
They don't become poor till they come to America.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. What else? Yeah, it was just like a lot of things that I didn't know and understand. And like, the author's from Nigeria. It was based in Nigeria. So it just caused me to do a lot of research. But then I feel like when you're reading like a fiction novel, you don't want to have to do as much like stopping and going to look up stuff, which is kind of annoying. So you want to kind of consume it and then go back and look at it. So I haven't gone back to look at anything yet, but I feel like I need to, just to kind of understand like everything what was going on. It does give you enough understanding where you can read the novel, but I just feel like I need a little more explanation in it. It was like, and also a reaction for me was like a quick, easy read. I like the short chapters, and it just kind of like, boom, here's this, boom, here's this. I appreciated that. But yeah, those are my reactions.
Okay, very, very short, simple. Okay, so my reactions, I have 3 that are actually written down. First one is, I really commend Creedy for helping her sister, because if it was me and my sister was acting like a spoiled, ungrateful bitch after I've been helping her with her situation, oh no, sis, this would have been doing 25 to life by now. There's no way. No, you are not. Like, I'm trying to help you because you keep messing up, and you want to act like this to me. No, I'm good. And then the next thing I have is that, so there's a situation where she has to like pay a cop or something $5,000, and she's paying the cop not for what you think she's paying the cop, but she's to pay a cop $5,000, whatever. And I looked it up. I used a currency exchange. That's only 13 American dollars. So 5,000 Nigerian naira is only 13 American dollars. Like, that exchange rate is crazy. And then the last thing is, like, I know we're supposed to like feel bad for Creedy because she has like this ugly duckling who is invisible to the man that she has a crush on. But to be completely honest with you, like, she kind of annoyed me a little bit. Like,
really?
I say that because like, she didn't advocate for herself like I wanted her to. Now, as I continued to read and I understood why she still had this connectivity to her sister and understood what they went through, I got it. But at the same time, like, closed mouths don't get fed. Like, if you want this man, you need to talk to him. Like, you can't keep playing this "my sister's been prettier than me my entire life" card forever. Like, you just gotta, like, if you want something, if you want a relationship, you just need to put yourself out there and move on. But then again, she's pretty busy, so she's gotta help her sister.
Yeah, I would say I don't know how to feel about any of the characters. Like, I just didn't have a connection with them. It's like just on the outside looking in. And like you said, I do agree, like, Cordy was a little just ignorant. I'm just like, girl, like, you're smarter than your sister. And she probably wasn't even ugly. She was just regular. Like,
she regular, schmegular girl.
Yeah, I hate how they described her. Her sister was just Ayola. Ugh, trash.
Terrible, trash,
The worst.
garbage.
The
Like,
worst.
ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All
Hated
right.
it.
Those are our reactions. Now on to major scenes and topics. So this is gonna be straight off the dome for me because I have nothing written down. I just coming off the top of the dome.
Off the dome. That's where they be at though.
Let me see. I'm gonna write them down as I say them. But I will say a major scene was Cordy stealing the ring.
Okay. Yeah.
The ending, which was highly annoying to me. The ending. Mm-hmm. Also, I guess like the first scene where Cordy is cleaning up after her sister after she kills somebody, and we find out that that's not her first time. Jasmine, no.
Giving you looks, sis. Giving you looks.
And then I think some topics are just like police, and I guess the function of police in the Lagos Nigerian society, and how that relationship works. And then also like you know, even like the parental relationships, like we have another shitty mother, and then the shitty father, just like family dynamics. I don't even know how to put it because like just her relationship with her mother, with her father, with her sister, and just how her sister is treated in comparison to her it was mind-boggling to me because I'm like, Cordy is so smart. She has a job. She's taking care of herself, and she's taking care of her sister as well, taking care of her mom. Like, yeah. And then not a major scene or topic, but a question: did the sisters kill their father?
I think so. Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I personally think they did.
Yeah,
I think that's. But yes. So my major scenes were the cleanups, the initial cleanup. I also have when the patient wakes up, when Mutar wakes up, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, so I remember you telling me this." So yeah, so and then crazy. Also the ending, similar to you. And then the topics that I have, I put familial relationships, issues, and the traumas, and then their effects on you, because I think a lot of the reason why Crete and Ayola, whatever, act the way that they do, is because of how the different situations that they were put in by their father being so shitty, by their mother being so shitty. Like, I think that's part of it. And then I also have mental health, because I feel like I'm no psychologist, I'm no therapist, but I'm pretty sure Ayola is a sociopath or got some DID. She got something going on.
I don't even think she realizes that she's a serial killer.
No, that's the problem. That's why I know she got something going on. Like, she don't realize what she's doing. Like,
right.
And then also, I feel like even Karidi has something like not there mentally because of her OCD nature. I feel like that is a coping mechanism for her. Yeah. So there's just a lot of mental health things that need to be addressed within that family. Yeah. But those were the only scenes and topics.
Me too. Well, let's talk about the beginning, because we both mentioned that, the first scene. So the first scene, I feel like it really gets you into the book, because it's like, my sister called me, I was out with friends, and I have to go help her like clean up. And like Cordy has this meticulous process about how she cleans up after her sister, and she even writes down and take notes about each thing. And I'm just like, why?
If I ever kill somebody, I'm calling her. Like, if I kill somebody, I'm calling Karidi, because she knows what to do. She knows how to clean up and dispose. That's important.
I don't know what I would do if it came down to it. Like, if my brother called me and was like, "Yo, I just killed somebody."
I personally gonna be stuck on stupid. I'm gonna be stuck on stupid. I'm gonna be like, "What do you want me to do about it?"
I mean, I would help you the first time, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, like,
Like, you have a problem.
right.
And okay, I do understand. Like the first time, yeah, I'm gonna help you.
Right.
After that, no, I can't be doing 25 to life. I'm not cut out for jail. Like that's just no. Personal life
You're
is
doing
not
too
for
much.
me. You're doing too much, buddy.
Yeah, doing way too much.
But I do agree that the novel definitely sucks you in the beginning, and then you're like, okay, and then you read and you're like, okay.
It's like that speed roller coaster. It gets you up to the top and drops you down, and then it's just like flat the rest of the way.
Yes.
Until you get to the end.
Until you get to the end. Yes, until you get to the end, then you're back up on top of the the toppy top. I just feel like I just was annoyed. I think what annoyed me was, even though I understand it, it still annoyed me was how willing her sister was to help, how willing Creedy was to help her sister, and her sister's like complete lack of understanding or disregard to what was happening. Like her sister, you just killed your boyfriend. This episode's full of spoilers, obviously, but you just killed your boyfriend, and then you trying to post on Instagram your little selfie. Like you can't do that, sis. You can't do that. Like you just, where's your head at? That's why I feel like she's maybe a sociopath. Like or maybe she's a psychopath. I don't know. But sis got issues, and she's some kind of path, and I don't know what kind of path. She's not an empath. She's not empathetic to other people's feelings or whatever. But she's just, it was stressing me out. And what was really stressing me out is that like her sister Creedy had pretty much given up her whole life to help her sister clear the murders, and I just it was pissing me off. It was just pissing me off.
But she was still working a full-time job as a nurse, which I'm trying to figure out, like,
when you got time.
Yes, like she's trying to monitor her sister because her sister's out here trying to post on social media, dating other guys, and not being discreet about it, and your boyfriend just died.
Drug overdose. I think that was a murder.
No, it was food poisoning.
She said it was food poisoning, but the news article said it was a drug overdose.
Oh yeah, she did that.
She did that.
She did that. She finally got smart. That was the smartest kill she had. But yeah. But then
it was fine. He died. What?
But you know what? We never find out in the book. It doesn't explicitly say that Cordy and Oyula killed their father. But maybe they did, and that's what started Oyula on her path of death. Whenever a man doesn't give her what she wants, because their dad is just straight trash, like he was abusive. He tried to like sell his daughter off to a chief when she was like 14. So maybe it's those deep-seated daddy issues that caused her to go on this track. Like Cordy on that path, Cordy's a lot stronger. Like she can just, do what she needs to do, handle it and keep moving. But Oyula, she's more impressionable, and that stayed with her. And maybe that's why.
No, I agree with that. I definitely believe that. Fan theory is they murked off their dad. They killed him. Bruh dead.
Yeah.
Killed her, husband whacked him.
I see what you did there.
She did. But then I do think that that's when she got her first taste of blood. She was like, ooh, I have this feeling. I'm going to keep killing. So if you don't give me what I want in these relationships, or if I feel threatened, like I think the first one, based on how Creedy explained it, I think bro was being real sketchy, maybe, possibly. Self-protection, self-defense. But now it's just, I'm just doing this for fun at this point.
Right. Like, whenever things don't go her way. It's like,
whatever, I'm not feeling things. But then again, I don't understand what was not going her way with the last one, the one that got away. Yeah. Because he was ready to give up his everything for her. So
what happened with that one was he was coming for her sister. So Oyula does have some loyalties to Cordy, because he was like, yeah, Cordy told me that you're crazy, that you're this, that you're that.
Oh, yeah.
And that you killed before. And she was like, hold up, you're not going to come for my sis. Stab, stab, stab.
But that's not coming for her sis. That's me telling you that your sister said you crazy. That's not coming for her. That's me. I got to get rid of this witness. That's witness cleanup.
I guess that's a good character trait about Ayula. Blood was thicker than water for her.
That was tying up loose ends. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like Ayula she was just trash. Not even because she was a murderer. She wasn't even like she's trash for murdering, yes. But that's not even where I took issue. I took issue because she was just ungrateful about the work that her sister was putting in to keep her butt out of jail.
Right. She just didn't care.
She just didn't
She
care.
didn't.
She just
Yeah,
didn't
that wasn't.
care. And then I was mad because Creedy couldn't speak up for herself. All right, you got feelings for Buddy. Say something. Your sister's asking you if you like old Buddy. You could be like, you know what? I think he's cute. I do like him. I have a crush on him.
Right. But then as a nurse, she spoke up for herself.
Right.
Like before she even got the head nurse position, she was telling people like, you need to do this. You need to clean. Don't do that. Wake up. Blah, 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 blah. But as soon as it came to like personal stuff, like actually taking care of herself, she wasn't doing that.
Maybe it's because she did not have a good representation of how a relationship is supposed to be. So she may have had some subconscious issues and some like anxieties about it just based on how her mother and father's relationship was. So she may have felt some feelings toward the doctor, but she didn't know how to properly act on it because she was fearful that he would just be a bad man like her daddy.
Look at us being therapists for the novel characters. Diagnosing them.
I really did diagnose her with some Ayula with some DID. So maybe I am a therapist. Yeah.
I don't know. Because she like, I feel like she doesn't have any feelings toward, like, she spent time with these people, but then she kills them, and afterwards just like, oh, they're dead. Okay.
Oh, they're dead. On to the next one.
Right. Yeah.
What? Where'd they do that at? I guess there.
And I guess just to touch on like their family situation a little bit, their father is highly abusive towards their mother and abusive towards them. Like we already mentioned that he tried to sell his daughter off to a chief, and he physically like hit their mom, was bringing women to the house and stuff. And I was like, but maybe like in that culture, divorce is not a thing. And I think a lot of times, like I've seen like Yvonne Orji like joke about how like African parents want you to marry well and marry somebody with money and stuff like that. So I think the mom married somebody with money, but then she got into the situation and realized he wasn't worth, a hill of beans. Like he still had money, but he was a crappy person. Yeah. But, she couldn't get out of it at that point.
Kind of similar to what we were talking about in Crazy Rich Asians. It's the whole acceptance thing and just following these stupid family traditions where, you got to be with someone from a good family. Forget how you feel about the person or your own personal feelings, but you got you a rich husband. So that's all that matters, which no, that's not the case at all. That's not what matters. But I do think that probably has some into it. I don't know. It was just, it's not what I expected. Like I definitely, this book was not what I expected. At all.
I wanted more from the book. Like I just needed more, kind of like Au Pair.
Yeah.
Like I needed more mystery. I needed more murder. It wasn't, I needed more description. I just needed just something just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
I think what I thought was gonna be was maybe one, or maybe she thought the story was gonna be she thought her sister was a serial killer, and it's like her going on this investigation of finding out and confirming if her sister was really a serial killer and having to deal with that information. Or even the way that it started after reading it, I'm like, okay, maybe this story is going to kind of go on to this branch of where, all right, she knows her sister's a serial killer. Maybe she's going to stop her. Or maybe she becomes a serial killer herself. There's a lot of ways that this book could have gone. It just did not go the way that one of those ways at all. It just went in a different direction.
Yeah. Like the ending like leaves you hanging. Like there's a man that comes to their house.
He's the next victim.
But I thought it was maybe Muhtar.
I think it's the next victim. Because the way that it says, she said, this is my sister. So hold on, I got it pulled up right here. I take the steps downstairs. They're in the living room. My mom, Ayula, and the man, they all look up as I approach him. This is my sister, Creedy. The man smiles. I smile back. That's the smile of death. That man's about to die.
I don't know. I feel like it might be Muhtar.
I don't think it's Muhtar because she would have known it was Muhtar.
But
She would
we
just,
don't know. They didn't say.
but Mutar, she like Ayula wouldn't have to introduce. This is my sister. Like he would already know who she is as she's
True,
coming
true.
down the
Facts,
stairs.
facts, facts, facts. Yeah.
So that's another man that's about to die. And Karidi's thinking, all right, let me go get my cleaning supplies together. The only
But she smiled too, though. Like,
because that's just what you do. When people smile at you, you smile back. That's the nice thing to do. That's just the hospitable, being cordial thing. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. And you? It's one of those types of things. Brody about to die. She gonna kill him. And then the sequel is gonna be my sister is still a serial killer, and that's what it is. She's still killing people. And I don't know. I just for once I actually wanted her to choose the man. I wanted her to choose water over blood. Like I wanted that, but it didn't happen, and I was mad. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
But I think her and Mutar are gonna get together.
Mutar like 70, right?
No, I don't think he's that old. He does have.
He was married with kids and got grandkids.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Mutar just mature. Maybe he was 50 and Cordy's in his 30s. Back to Cordy, I will say, like, she's the true definition of my sister's keeper. Like, even when Ayula was born, she was like, she thought that the baby belonged to her and all this stuff. So she really has been protective over her sister from day one. So that's why she's continuing on this behavior that she has.
Yeah. And it's going to lead to her detriment.
Mm-hmm. Well, she'll sneak it with Mutar. I promise you. She'll be all right. Next segment is what you all have been waiting for. We are going to rate this book. We have a scale based off of your soberness. Okay, so 1 flame emoji. Y'all, Jazz is like making it hard for me to keep it straight on this call. She has been restyling her hair. Now she's raising her eyebrow at me.
It's an 80s look.
She's been twisting her hair. I can't. Any hoozers with my list. Any hoozers. First, 1 flame emoji means that you're sober. The book was whack. We read it, but it was whack. 2 flame emojis means that you are buzzed. Means like, I'm feeling it. Getting a little tingle. 3 flame emojis means that you are tipsy. Okay, I'm stumbling a little bit. The room might have a slight spin. And then lastly, we have 4 flame emojis, which is lit. We are all the way turned up, flashing lights, room spinning, wobble, 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 wobble. Might wake up with a hangover, but that book is super lit. It's Black Girl lit. So I guess I'll go first since it's my book. So, on most reading sites, they give you 5 stars. So technically we only have 4.
Right.
On Goodreads, I rated this book this morning. I gave it 3 stars. I was trying to figure out how that would equate to a Black Girl Lit rating, but I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to give it a buzz. I appreciate that we have a novel, like a psychological thriller novel, based in Africa, an African country, with leading characters that are African, and it's like, African culture, language, all of that. The author is Nigerian as well. Beautiful. I appreciate that. But I was just left wanting more. Like I said, I needed more description. I needed more detail. I needed something to bring me in. And I did read one review that said this was a satire. So I'm not familiar with culture in Nigeria and in Lagos specifically. So maybe I need to do some research on that to really understand the satirical nature of this novel. But for me, it's a fiction novel. I wanted to be able to connect with the characters, the setting, understand what was going on. There were no footnotes. There was, another language being spoken. So I couldn't fully connect. I'm appreciative of it, and I'm going to do some research. But for me, this book was definitely a buzz.
Okay, sis. You know what? I appreciate you for speaking your truth and how you feel about it.
Your truth.
Okay.
Why don't you emphasize that?
Thank you for speaking your truth. Okay, it's my turn.
Sober. Yeah.
No, actually, I'm gonna give it a buzz too. That's my truth. Okay, like I said earlier, it's a very quick and easy read. Like if you want something to read, like to knock out quickly, this is a good book for you. It's only like 200 and some pages, but the way that the chapters are written, they're literally like quick scenes. Like almost each little scene is a chapter. So you can get through it relatively quickly, which I appreciated. I like Nakia said, I appreciated that it's a book of a different culture. It's a book that takes place in a country or a continent that I don't think I've ever really read books that took place in Africa before. Now I think about it. So I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I like the idea behind it. I like this thought of my sister's a serial killer. How do I handle this? But I think the execution of it in the sense of the details, the background knowledge, the information, I think that's where I struggle. And then also the ending. Now, is the ending kind of tied up in a bow? No. But it still doesn't, it leaves me wanting and not in a good way. Like I like books that leave me on a cliffhanger and make me want to get the next one. Like even though Crazy Rich Asians didn't end on a cliffhanger, it still makes me want to get the next book and continue the series. If there was a sequel to this book, I don't think I would go jump to read it. It's not something that I would want to go after. So I think that's a way of how I'm like kind of gauging books, like going forward, like, hey, if there was a sequel, would I want to read it? And I would not want to read the sequel for this. So that's how I feel.
That's our rating, y'all. It's a buzz from both of us.
It's a buzz. And I mean, that's what I'm trying to be right now as I chug my margarita wine mix.
I mean, you can read it if you want to. If you don't, I mean, we're not going to judge.
Like I said, read it. Send us your thoughts. You know, if you've read it or have read it, send us your thoughts. Let us know what you think. Always curious to what people think about books that we have read.
Yeah, like I've read some reviews on here on Goodreads, and some people were like giving it 4 and 5 stars, and I was just like, how did we read the same book?
Right.
But
no judge. Everyone interprets things differently. Books resonate with different people differently. That's the one thing that we learned about Well-Read Black Girl is that, you know, books resonate with different people in different ways. So no knock to the people who found this to be a 4 or 5 star. That's just not how I felt.
Yeah.
I feel. But I do, yeah. Okay.
You know, how much you like a book is very subjective. There's books that I love that people hate. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yes, it is.
All right. Our next book is Jasmine's pick, and it is titled How to Love a Jamaican by Alexa Authors. And then our first YA book of the season.
Oh, wait. My sister the serial killer wasn't YA? Okay. All right.
Wow. I should slap her through this phone.
I thought it. Now you're trying to be.
I heard a quote yesterday. Shade is for lounging, not for throwing.
Oh, snaps on that, sis. Okay, first of all, I wasn't trying to throw shade. I literally thought this book was YA. I told David today that it was a YA book, but I was wrong. My bad.
They're adults. There's no young adult characters.
Oh, to be YA, the characters have to be young adult?
Most YA books are mostly young adult characters, and it's marketed to young adults. This book is not marketed to young adults.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anywho, like I was saying, our next book is How to Love a Jamaican by Alexa Authors, which is Jasmine's pick. And then my next pick, our first YA and only YA book of the season. Oh, no, I lied. Our first YA book of the season is Slay by Brittany Morris. So get those books from your local library, download Libby, get it from there. Read along with us so that you can join in on the conversation in our comments or send us a sip. Y'all already know what sips is because y'all been listening to us this long. So send us a sip, hunty. Okay. But that's all I got to say. Jazz, anything for the good of the order?
I got nothing.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening. And as always, stay Black Girl Lit. Can you say
stay Black Girl Lit, y'all? Stay Black Girl Lit, okay? Stay it always, forever.
That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating and a top-notch review to get us to the top review page on iTunes. And be sure to follow us and listen on SoundCloud.